All right, it is my honor to be sitting here with Adrienne Trimble, the new president of the National Minority Supplier Development Council. Adrienne, good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Um, Adrienne has been she's just been blazing a storm, her past in Toyota. But I want to start with, can you tell us a little bit about your road to where you're at and some of the obstacles you have to overcome?
Absolutely. So, thank you for being here with us at the conference. This has been an outstanding partnership with NMSDC and MBDA coming together. You celebrating Midweek, us with our Business Opportunity Exchange. So, thank you. I spent the last 18 years at Toyota, mostly in human resources, then moved into supplier development, diversity, and then into corporate diversity. What I learned along the way is that you really have to have a, a, a strategy that shows how inclusion impacts the business. You know, we had some discussion just thinking about this yesterday. Is this a social movement or is this a business impact? And what Toyota taught me is that it's always a business impact, because if you do the right things from a business imperative perspective, the social change that we are looking to achieve will come. So what I think is really helpful is that I have that instilled in me. You know, Toyota had two core principles: respect for people, continuous improvement. And everything that I was taught was around those principles. So respect for people is about inclusion and understanding how do we make social impact and change in communities that have been traditionally underrepresented and underserved. So that's why I'm excited and why I'm sitting in the role as president and CEO of NMSDC.
That is great. You mentioned improvement. I want to talk to you about that. Now, we've seen some of the automotive things when people walk to the pavilion, they'll see the workforce of the future, some of the automation, digitalization of the economy. How are you preparing suppliers for a workforce of the future where we know robots are going to be playing a different role?
That is going to be one of our challenges. So we know that you're right. Digital transformation, it's here, and we have to get ready for it now. So how do we better prepare our minority suppliers to shift their business strategies to be able to support the supply chain needs and provide business solutions for those companies that are looking to utilize artificial intelligence and things of that nature? One of the things I think we have as a secret weapon are the resources within the NMSDC network.
Yes.
Our organization is comprised of almost 1,700 corporate members, most of them Fortune 100 companies, and we have some of the most cutting edge technology firms that are working with us to help prepare minority suppliers for that future digital transformation. So we have our technology industry group that is really ready to help develop programs and processes that can help get those minority suppliers introduced to their business operations so that they are better prepared when they come to the table with solutions.
That's great. So at MBDA, one of the things that we're doing is we're really trying, with the last census data, we found that only 2% of minority businesses have annual gross receipts of $1 million or more. Only 4.5% have annual gross receipts of $500,000. So we've taken it upon ourselves to create more million-dollar companies. But when I'm out there talking, I'm gonna be honest with you, when I mention some of the things that I think we're going to have to do, like mergers and acquisitions and going global, there's sometimes a fear, trepidation for companies that are like, hey, we're doing pretty good. You know, we might not be at the $1 million mark, but we're making ends meet. How do you help encourage companies to understand that it is risky, but business is risky, but there's a support network like MBDA, like NMSDC that will help them get to the next level?
And I think that's a really good point. You're right. A number of our minority suppliers, we have four classes of them, and the ones who are in the class 3 and 4, which are more the 100 million and above, they get it. It's how do we help them maybe mentor the ones that are the million, 100 million below, or even a million below, to get ready and look at those strategic partnerships and alliances. One thing that we have to change within NMSDC, and probably have to address it, is the business model that we use in terms of identifying what a certified minority business is. Because sometimes the certification process can impact the ability for companies to create strategic alliances, create joint ventures that will help them build the scale and the capacity that they need to be able to bring those resources to the table to be able to have that impact. So we have to remove some of those barriers and obstacles that might be preventing them from being free to have those discussions.
That's great. Now, I noticed there's a new energy level. I know people are excited to have you on board. I'm excited to be able to work with you. Are there any new partnerships or any new things that you want to bring from your past with Toyota and incorporate them with NMSDC?
I would say definitely the process piece. Toyota is a very process-driven organization and was very much ingrained in me about making sure that you have a very strong process that will help lead you to your end result. Sometimes we can be so quick to jump in with a solution and not really do the problem solving that gets down to the root cause, and you treat the wrong symptoms. You treat the wrong issue. So I know that people are really anxious for change. They want to see things probably quicker than they probably will happen, but it's because I want to go through a deliberate process to make sure that we understand what the real pain points are,
Yes.
what are the changes really needed, and bring the right solutions to the table at the right time and treat the right issues. So that's one of the things I think is going to be really helpful in my background. The other thing I think is going to be helpful is that, as I talk about that respect for people, and it's the collaboration. We don't have to do everything by ourselves.
That's
there are
right.
others who have resources, they have strengths that we don't have. How do we leverage those? We have strengths that others might not have. How do we bring those to the table and have more of that collaboration and mutual beneficial relationship so that we can all prosper together and all problem solve together that's going to make minority supplier development better and stronger.
That is great. You talked about leveraging partners. Are there any ways that MBDA can help you with your vision and your plan and
Oh.
executing, which we both are very fond of?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, first off, we already have the partnerships with the MBDA centers that are around the country, and some of those are actually run side by side with our council. So we thank you for that. We do think that we have more opportunities to look at programmatic needs for our minority suppliers. One thing that I've learned about you is that you are very data driven. I like that saying you said, no data, no dollars.
That's right. That's right.
I like that. But I think that that's where you can maybe help us with the data that we need to understand as we talk about the shifting demographics, the impact to the economic impact to the communities that we want to make. We need that data, and we're not a data science organization, but if there's resources that you have at the table, that's where we think you could be helpful for us in making sure that we know what that data is and we're prepared to be able to utilize it and develop our strategies to support it.
That is wonderful. We're both in the development business. It's in our titles. So I look forward to working with you. We have a great opportunities on the horizon with the demographics change. We know that minorities will be the majority population pretty soon.
Mhm.
I look forward to working with you, and I think that we're going to make a huge impact on the future of this country and the world. So thank you very much. For taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.